Hi there, I'm Angela, a sport therapist from Barnstable. Today I'm going to take you through some wrist strength exercises. But initially let's have a little warm up for the wrists so they get warm, ready for the actual strength exercise. Get your hands, we'll either cup them as a handhold position or interlock your fingers. And we're just going to draw circles around your palms, one circle around the other. Clockwise, anti-clockwise, just to get the muscles around the flexors and extensors nice and warm of your wrists and forearms. 10 to 15 seconds on each side. Once you feel the blood pumping a little bit more, then nice and loose, relax. Then go on to some stretches. Be careful if you are hypermobile, be careful with obviously the stretches. If you're not hypermobile like me, just working the stretches, flexions and extensions. Again, I'm not holding for too long. The objective of this is just to warm up. Some rotations as well. Hands inside, go around. I'm cupping the little finger with my thumb and then rotating, and then we can do the same on the other way. Fingers on the thumb and then rotate up, thumb on the little finger, rotate around. Same on the other side, thumb on the little finger, rotate up, fingers on the thumb, rotate around. Again, I'm not overdoing this, I'm not pushing it too far, I'm just getting to my comfortable range, full range of movement, and quite a passive motion. Next part of the warm-up is working the digit flexors and extensors individually. Just starting off with your hands, you can do both. Touching each individual digit to the thumb. Working the flexors, then we can build onto holding onto something. Be a little bit softer than a squash ball probably, so you can have a little squeeze between each digit and your thumb. Other side. Work it around 2 to 3 times. And then moving on from that, grab an elastic band. I've got a slightly longer one so I can wrap the elastic band around each individual digit. Right at the end, middle, ring, little, a couple more times on my little finger and my thumb, one more time on my thumb, and it gives me a little bit of purchase. I'm going to work on the extensors, starting off with the thumb and then the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, the little finger. We can do all at the same time. And you can see when I'm working this, my shoulders are back, my pelvic floor is engaged, and my wrist is in a neutral position, so my palms are facing each other. I'm not going to pronate at this point, I'm not going to supinate at this point. I'm going to keep it in a relaxed neutral position. And I'm just going to open out, working those extensors. Again, 10 to 15 repetitions, less than that if you feel more comfortable to do less to start off with, and doing a few lesser sets, it's absolutely fine. Obviously both sides, then we go over to the left hand, wrapping it around, each thumb, each finger, and then same again. Neutral position, shoulders, neutral back, pelvic floor engaged. Now to forearm strength, flexion and extension through your forearm using a Clini band. I've got a very small interlocking Clini band which works perfectly for this. First exercise again, shoulders are back, pelvic floor is engaged, lower lumbar spine is in a neutral position. Palms are facing each other, so I'm again not going over, supinating or pronating. A little bit of resistance on the one side. Extension. Other side, extension. And then once we've done that, we can do it both at the same time also. Again, don't do too many. Start off with the less sets and the less reps and build your way up. And moving on to flexions, you need something stable for this one to lash your clinny band onto. Again, perfect position, shoulders, pelvic floor. Flexions. And then the same on the other side, lash it off onto something stable so you can do flexions on the other side as well, so everything is equal. And then it's doing the up and the down. On this one, I'm going to hold the clinny band underneath my foot, hold it in this position. And then I can do it down as well. This time I'm going to use my other hand and hold it up unless you've got something above you to hold it, and then I can do the downward motion. Again, everything is still perfectly poised, my shoulders are still in a good position, my back's in a good position, my pelvic floor is engaged, so I'm still thinking of posture. Slow and controlled through the motion, building up to the full range of movement. Next part of strength is internal and external rotations, supinations and pronations. But from your neutral position with your shoulders and your wrists and your lumbar spine. So I'm going to hold, we could hold this in any direction, whether you hold it from the bottom to either side or above, will stress your wrist in a different way physically. So it's important to tackle all of them, especially if you've got certain problems. If you have tennis elbow, normally hurts on the top and around the side. You're probably better off doing it from the inside and from below. If you've got golfer's elbow, from the bottom on the inside, it'll benefit you most from doing it on the outside and from the top. But I like to balance everything out perfectly so we miss nothing out. So I'm going to start off from the inside. I'm going to stern it with one hand, hold it with the wrists, and then I'm going to do a loop around. And then that there is forcing my wrist to supinate. And then from the forced supination, I'm going to pronate. Slow and controlled. And then we can mimic on the other side. So we just wrap it around the other way. Now that's the resistance of the band is going to force pronation, and I'm going to supinate. And we can do this from every single position. So if we do this from below, and I lash it underneath my foot, hold on to the clinny band, and I do a loop around. Again, that loop is forcing pronation. So I'm going to supinate, and then we can loop it around the other way. That will force supination, so I'm going to specifically do pronation, and again, shoulders are back, I'm looking at myself, thinking about my body position when I'm doing this specific restrict exercise, and I'm controlling it. And then moving from the outside position, so you're having to pull in, so you're working your internal rotators, your subsacularis through your rotator cuffs in a static position, isometric, holding on to the band and wrapping it around once. This is now causing pronation, supination, and I'm obviously then going for pronation. Very specific for golfer's elbow. And then wrap it around the other way. One inside, that's now forcing supination, and I'm going to, it's forcing pronation, excuse me, and I'm going to do supinations. And then the very last one is from the top. If you have anything to lash it onto, you can hold onto it by yourself. Still thinking about my shoulders and my pelvic floor. lash it around the one time. That's causing supination. And I'm doing controlled pronation. Again, very beneficial for people that suffer with gopher's elbow. And then the other way around, forcing pronation, and I'm causing supination. To the top and to the outside, very good for the golfers. For the inside and to the bottom, very good for tennis elbow.